Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All, educational videos and tutorials. Today I will try to code ticking time bomb in Scratch. That was question that internet guy asked in GameMaker Studio drag and drop blocks destroy instance video, and he asked the same thing, the problem which he had, but how to solve it in GameMaker. I have already coded that in previous video and created that video, but it was very long, almost 1 hour, and also because I have explained lots of other stuff and stuff which is connected to animation frames, controlling frames, how to combine GML with GML drag and drop and so on. So now we will see the same thing, the same problem, but how it's solved in Scratch. So you can compare it not in terms of game engines like this. Scratch is now better because you can do that faster or something like that, because they have different features, and also again I was explaining lots of other stuff in previous videos. So the whole idea here is to understand that you can switch from one engine to another, and all engines and all software is only tool, so you use the one which you have, which you need in that specific case, and sometimes you can jump from one to another to use something like Scratch, for example, which is simple and fast for prototype, for game design. And I see lots of people avoid it or think it's just a joke, or it's not a serious game engine or whatever, but we will see now how you can use it to solve same problem and learn other features in Scratch, compare it to GameMaker and so on. So again, let's go to Scratch. Let's first read this problem which this guy had. He wanted to make that player runs into a block and the block goes through a set of frames. So we have a player, we have a block, a player runs, he can move, and when he touches the block, the other object, that other object goes through a set of animated frames, and on the final frame that object, second object, is destroyed. I have gone through a couple of bullet points in previous video. I don't want to go through them now. Don't worry, don't be afraid. But in general, you have to precisely define the question, the problem first. Then when you do it, you can divide it into smaller chunks, into smaller problems, and then solve one by one. In GameMaker, we had to go from player runs into block, then go through a set of frames and how to control them, and then how to check if the final frame is active. Same goes here with the Scratch, only I will do it without explanation of theory that much, or GameMaker was problematic in terms of those animation sprites and so on, because there are so many features, so you can get lost in those. Okay, so first of all I need to code this guy. This is the default state. You have this Scratch cat by default on the screen. I will add, for example, simple background by clicking on backdrop, choose a backdrop, and then choose boardwalk, simple as that. Then I will click on sprite 1, that is cat. I want the cat to move 10 steps, that means go to the right. Okay, but I don't want to click like this like crazy when I play my game. I want to bind that to some kind of keyboard button, to some key. Okay, which one? It makes sense to go with right arrow. When right arrow key pressed, that's event. Move 10 steps, that works nice. Okay, I need that also for left arrow. So right click, duplicate, and pick left arrow and add minus to go to the left. That's minus on x-axis, and I will change to 5 instead of 10. Maybe it's better that way to go 5 pixels. Okay, so now I can move my character on the screen. Simple as that. That was also simple to code in GameMaker, but that's only our player on the screen. We need a bomb, so I will go to choose a sprite to open the Scratch library of sprites, and I will try to find some kind of bomb like sprite. They don't have it, I think, so I will use some simple sprite for prototype. And this ball looks great. Why? Because it's circle like some circle shaped bomb, and also it's great because it have different frames in it. The frames in GameMaker and in Scratch they are called costumes. So I have costume 1, costume 2, so we can use them to animate, to go through frames. That's what that guy asked for. Okay, other than that, I also want to duplicate this one to make 2 balls, 2 bombs, one on the left, one on the right, like we had. Okay, this one is on the left. Okay, this one, this sprite, I will call it sprite bomb, and this one on the right, I will call it sprite ticking bomb, just to be sure which one is. Yeah. Okay, so let me code first the simple stuff in terms of how to destroy the instance, the sprite on the screen. So I need to check when this guy cat touches this bomb, sprite bomb on the left. So when those two collide, I don't have that word, I don't have that event in Scratch like I had in GameMaker. So I don't have collide, I have to find it in some other way. I have this touching color, touching mouse pointer, and I also have touching other objects, other sprites. So when this sprite bomb is touching what? Sprite 1. I need to rename that one also cat, just to be more simple. Okay, so when I'm touching the cat, it's false because they're not touching, but now it will say true because they overlap. I cannot zoom. Yeah, I can zoom it like this, but then I cannot code. So you will have to watch this screen on the right and also the code on the left. So what do I want to do? Just say it first in plain English and then try to find the code. When or if this sprite bomb is touching the cat, so I need to find that code, if or when. If, okay, if it's touching the cat, great. Do what? Do destroy instance, destroy this one. We don't have that because we are in Scratch, not GameMaker, but we have something which is called hide, and that is in looks. It does make sense. Okay, I need to hide the sprite, hide the look of it. So okay, if touching the cat, then hide. That's all cool, but I have to bind it when this game starts. Does it make sense? It doesn't make much sense because it only check once, and that's not what I want. So if you compare this to GameMaker or Unity or some other game engine, this would be like create event. That event is run when you start the game, when you create the game, when you create the object, so that runs only once. You can see how it will flash in yellow, meaning it goes through it, but it's so fast that you read it only once and that's it. I'm checking if the touching cat is true, but that's only for a split of second and when the game starts. And when the game starts, my cat is not touching the bomb. So now this would be true, and now it works. But I don't want my game to start like that. And another thing, you see now when it's hidden, next time when I start the game, it's also hidden. It remembers the last state, so either I have to click on it here, show, or even better, I can say, okay, when the game starts, first show the bomb, okay, and then check if the touching cat. But again, I'm in problem here because I'm in create event. I'm only checking this once very fast. I want that to check forever. That's in game maker step event. In game engine like Unity, I think it's update and so on. So I need something which is controlling forever. There it is, and I need to put this in it. So you can see this image which says, okay, go back to start, then check it again, then go back to start. So this will be checked forever. So if this, then hide. If touching the cat, then hide. Yeah, great, this works. So maybe we can reuse some of those code blocks for sprite ticking. I will, yeah, and this doesn't work, or I'm not doing it the right way. It has to wiggle a bit. I don't know how it's called. No. Okay, I can code it anyway. So okay, this was the simple bomb, the one which disappears, which explodes when you touch it. Now let's try to do it same with this one. When the game starts, check forever. Check what? Check if the cat is touching the bomb, or to be more precise, is the bomb touching the cat? Okay, and then I don't want to hide. I want to do what? I want to change my frame, which is in sprite called costumes. So I need to find costumes, and you have whole bunch of blocks here in looks. So we need to find some costumes and change costumes, something like that. I think they are yeah, next costume. So let's try with that. So what this next costume we do, we can test it by clicking on it first, then put it in some more complex code. So take a look on the screen now. First on this first on this on these sprites here, or frames or costumes, on the left you see you have 5 of those. That's already made for us in Scratch. If you want to make some custom graphics, you would need to copy and create those on your own, to create some, for example, bomb or something like that. I was too lazy to do that from the start, so I'm using this ball, which works great for me for prototype. So the first costume is yellow. The second costume is blue. So it has number 2, it is second, and it has name ball B. Third one is pink, or something like that, and it has ball C. Name, it has number 3. Ball green is fourth, it has name ball D, and 5 is ball E. Purple. So all of those costumes have names of their own, so you can control them by their names in the code or by their numbers. And also be aware, that's why I was talking that much in GameMaker frames, image frames, which we have learned before, starts counting from 0, and here you see it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for most of you this will make more sense, especially for kids, beginners and so on. So it makes sense, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in other game engines it can go from 0, so take that in notion, be aware of that. That's very, very important, and make you can make errors easy. Okay, so when I go to my code and click on this next costume, look at the bomb or ball on the right. So it goes from one to another. That's exactly what we want. So let's try that in our forever if touching cat. And again, Scratch, Game Maker, Unity, other game engines, they are very fast. They are reading this very fast, 30 or 60 times per second. So check out now how fast this will change. This is not useful at all to us. I can zoom it to see it even better. So is this useful for you? Can you check how many times these sprites have changed costumes, images? I cannot. This is very fast, too fast for me, for any human, and you cannot be very precise with it, so we will have to slow it down a couple of times or somehow. So let me think about it. But also when I start my game, you can see now my game doesn't start with yellow first costume as we have learned here. So I need to do a couple of things. First of all, I need to find the costume 1 or something like that. I need to find the block which says go to costume 1, start with costume 1, and I think I saw something like yeah, switch to costume, and you can that's what I was explaining a few moments ago. You can pick names or numbers or whatever you want. I want my game to start with this one, yellow, not pink, not green, but ball A, yellow one. So when the game starts, when the green flag is clicked, switch to costume ball A. Okay, that's great, that works. So then check this out, and as we said, this is too fast for us, but at least now it starts with yellow, and I will detach this to make it to stop this code from working. Okay, so maybe I think it's better for us, at least I would try to use some kind of message as a checker instead of this touching cat forever. Why? Because as I just said, this is working 60 times per second. I don't want that. I want this to collision to be triggered only once. So to be precise, to be triggered once. So I will try with something like this. We have learned that before in our Scratch blocks. We have learned that you can use one of the events block which is called broadcast message and say, okay, I will broadcast some kind of message. You can even click on it to create new one and call it whatever you want. So I will call it activate bomb underscore bomb to make it more clear. Okay, so when my bomb is touching cat, then broadcast message. Okay, so let's see what happens now. This will also be checked forever, but at least it will just trigger this activate the bomb I think once. So let me check it. But again, if you have watched my previous video, you know that when I broadcast message like here now, nothing happens. Broadcasting message is great, but it doesn't do anything on the screen. It's just trigger. You need to say, okay, when someone receives that message, do something else, do this, do that, and so on. So message broadcasted means nothing. It only means something when someone is listening to it and reacting to it. So let's add some kind of reaction to it. Let's add what? Let's add when I receive message, then do what? Then I want to change costume. It doesn't work. Oh, sorry, my bad. Message 1, not message 1. Activate the bomb. Now it should. Yeah, same thing. We're in the same problem. So, why is that so? First of all, I will try to slow it somehow by using wait. Maybe wait 1 second. So, wait 1 second, then go to next question. Again, this was cool, but it was only triggered once, and this code run. This works, but to go to next, I would have to do something like this to copy, which is not very smart and not very nice to look at, but it works. It goes from one to another. I don't want that to repeat like this, it's too ugly. So let's think about it, how to solve it, and with which block. As I just showed, you have to copy something to repeat it, so instead of repeating it by duplicate and so on, you already have one block which does that for you. So instead of repeat this by copying, we will put it here. And how many times do I have to repeat it? I start with yellow bomb, yellow ball, and then I need to go to the blue. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think it's 4 times. Maybe I'm wrong, okay, but if I counted well, it should be 4. So when I receive this message, and that message will be received when this cat is touching the ball, then do what? Then wait for 1 second, go to next costume and repeat that 4 times. So I will go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will stop this. I think I will stop at this, what it's called, purple one, ball E. Okay, how is the time going? Yeah, half an hour, so it's still better than 1 hour. Okay, so let's zoom it a little bit. Let's check if this is working. This is working. Okay, touching it. 2, 3, 4. Stops. Great. That's exactly what I want. So you see how this, because it's not repeating more than 4 times, it's not forever. It's not same as forever. I here have exact number 4. I could put 5, I could put any number, but it's not forever. This is forever. If I would put this in forever, that would go all the time. But now I said, okay, only do it 4 times. I'm just checking this condition, this message, this touching the cat forever, but when that happens, it goes like this. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. But anyway, what do we need to code here after? On the final frame, it's destroyed. So all I have to do here is, so we have checked when I receive the message, repeat 4 times, wait for 1 second, next custom, and then I can put hide, I think, just like that. Or again, maybe I'm wrong, we're not using Scratch a lot, but it makes sense to me. It works, but it's a little bit too fast for me. So I will add again wait, maybe not 1 second, but 0.5, half a second. Okay, so again, think about this as reading a book. You're reading from top to the bottom. So you read first this one. Okay, when I receive, do what? Do this repetition 4 times. Go what? Go with. Wait for 1 second, next costume, then again this, then again this, then again until you do it 4 times, and then after that do this. So this code here, wait for 0.5 seconds and hide, this will not happen until this one above finishes. So you have to read from top to bottom. Scratch reads that way. So when this is finished, and that will be after 4 repetitions, then do this. So this, don't worry, this won't hide your image until this runs first. This is on the top, this runs first. Simple as that. So let me try this. Yeah, the problem here is now that because I said hide, Scratch is smart enough to hide that, but also he thinks I want that hidden forever. So I need to say when my game starts, do what? Show that, like we did here with this bomb, show the other bomb also, then go to first costume because it will end like this. Go to first costume, then check if cat is touching it, and so on. So now it should work. I have touched it and it's working. It goes through all the frames, all the costumes, and I see a couple of other problems here, but just a second to check them out. First of all, you here, if you're confused with this, but this makes sense to me, with this code here you can put another condition here. So for example, I can say, okay, I'm a little bit afraid this will happen somehow before I want that to happen, so I will put another condition here, and I will say if my, like we said here, if my costume, for example, number, I think I have that, yeah, I have it here. If my costume number is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If my costume number is 5, that means I am at the end of my animation. Then do this, then hide, just as another I don't know how it's said, just as another way of you being cautious and being sure it will work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now it checks and disappears. But from my point of view, we don't need that, just I wanted to show that just as an option. And another thing which I have noticed here, maybe some of you too, but this is the code more or less. I can hide this one. Yeah, I have noticed that when I touch the ball, it doesn't start changing the sprites right away. It doesn't start with the animation right away. Why is that so? Again, is it a feature? Is it a bug? It depends how you see it from your perspective. Also, it depends on which game engine you use, how they work with sprites, animation, frames, and so on. That's what we are talking about all this time. So in this case, Scratch is checking if this is touching the cat, and you can see that he wants to do this code. It's yellow, but somehow it's confused in terms of he has this code on the left, which is yellow. This one is the cat touching the bomb, that's true, but this one is also true, so he's broadcasting the message, but also at the same time he's doing all he's broadcasting the message all the time as we are touching the bomb. Cat, sorry, if the bomb is touching the cat, that is checked all the time and trying to trigger this. So this is confusing for Scratch until you move a little bit, and then he can run this second code. So until that he runs that code, but it's so fast and so confusing for him, so we don't see it in terms of change on the screen. So I don't want that to happen that way. Maybe for some of you this is cool enough, so this is great. This is how you want it. You want it to touch it and move a little bit on the side. So again, in this scenario so far I have to touch it and then move back, so the bomb will start ticking. But in my case I want to code that so even now the bomb will start animating. So I will do that, I think, by simply adding one piece of code, but just have to find it. I haven't used this Scratch in a time, and let me just check this sprite bomb. Okay, cat is simple enough. Okay, yeah, I think I want Scratch to trigger this only once. When this is true, then do not check this forever. Check it only once and then go away of this, like saying Scratch, okay, is this true? If it's true, don't use forever, jump out of it, stop it. There is a block in Scratch, I think, which can help us just to find it. Yeah, here it is in control, stop, but not stop all. I need stop this script. So again, what I want to do here, I want to check this first. Is it true? If it's true, then stop. I think I have to, yeah, stop this script. I have to put it inside, because then if it's true, if the bomb is touching the cat, do what? Broadcast the message, and then I want that to broadcast only once. Stop this script, and this script is this one. So stop forever. I don't want that forever. I think this will work. If not, we will find another solution. But you see now it's yellow. It works because it's forever block. But check out how when I oops, I did it by clicking accidentally. Check out this block here on the right, but also check how this will stop being yellow. This will stop being grid from Scratch. So when I touch, yeah, simple as that. And you can see on screen it works. So the moment the cat touched the ball and this stop script was triggered and this code was stopped, and you jump to this one because that's the message received, and then do this. And now I don't need to move out from ball. When I touch it, it works right away. So you can watch the ball now. It starts right away. I can stay touching on it. And in previous version we had to step back a little. So now I can touch it and stay on it, and it starts right away. That's it for this video. Again, a little bit longer than I thought, and lots of information. Same problem solved now in Scratch. In previous video it was solved in GameMaker. It took us 1 hour in GameMaker, but because we have explained lots of other stuff, and in Scratch it was faster, and for me probably easier, not because I think one engine is better than another, one application is better, Scratch is better than GameMaker. Quite opposite. GameMaker is great and very good for much more complex games and so on, but I just wanted to show you that you should and could jump from one another and use it. For example, if I don't know how to solve this problem in GameMaker, maybe I can solve it in Scratch. Simple as couple of blocks. This is the solution. This is the solution which we needed, and then try to copy and mimic this in Game Maker, or ask some other game designer or coder, like, hey, I have this thing in Scratch, I want to do same thing in a Game Maker, can you help me, can you do that for money or whatever, if you are working on professional game and something like that. But yeah, I want my Scratch cat to be, yeah, I can code that later. Anyway, the whole idea, as I just said, is to don't be afraid to experiment, to learn new stuff, to compare them, to jump from one tool to another. All of those game engines and applications, those are all tools. And again, this Scratch environment can be great for game designers, beginners, but not also beginners, but more experienced and professionals, to develop some game design levels, games, which then later can then be transferred to some other game engine like Unreal, Unity, Game Maker, whatever. Those are just tools. So if you have a problem, try to solve it wherever you can, in whatever environment you can. A little bit tired with talking this much. See you in the next video. Yeah, and I owe you how to make a bomb, just like this. Just kidding. I will maybe try to make some kind of how it's called, image artwork making in Scratch as soon as possible. But yeah, it's simple as that. So I can use another tool, grayish, to make some kind of highlight. I can use a little smaller, and that's it. That's the bomb. So I will put 2 seconds here to see that more clearly on the screen, and that's what we will use to finish this video. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I will use this in my Scratch games, maybe a little bit better. It does look like a bomb. And it's strange enough we don't have bombs in Scratch, which is great, but also strange enough for game makers. Stopping here. That's it for this video. See you in next one. A couple of next one will be maybe about Game Maker or Scratch, or making graphics in Scratch, because maybe someone needs that too. Bye for now.